Physics-based platformer I.O. started off as a game jam project in 2012 and was expanded upon and later released on Steam in 2014, but now it's available on the PlayStation 4. But does this game provide the kind of challenge that is engaging and fun to play, or is it just a physics-based mess? I.O. is a very simplistic game that's easy to start to play, but very difficult to master. It provides 225 challenging levels that will really test your skill and potentially patience as you're trying to master it and get all of the medals. You start off with a few basic tutorial levels, which I highly recommend doing if you've never played the game before, so you can get familiar with how things work. Basically, you're playing as a spherical object that can grow and shrink on command using the right joystick. You have to get used to growing and shrinking at a moment's notice in order to get momentum, or slow down at times in order to get to where you're trying to, landing on platforms, and of course making it to the goal of each level. After completing the tutorial, you then have two sets of levels to enter into, either the original levels, which feature a majority of the stages, or the more challenging, irresistible levels that are broken up into 3 packs of its own. These levels are going to really test your skill if you're going to want to actually complete them. The original levels are broken up into 6 different level packs, each featuring 25 different stages. Every stage in the game doesn't feature a time limit, but the quicker you're able to complete it, the more likely you're able to get a bronze, silver, or gold medal, with of course your eventual goal being to try to gold every single level in the game. One of my only issues with the game is that it is an extremely simplistic approach. It is very fun if you're able to get into these kind of games, but there isn't a whole lot more outside of that. You're not unlocking new stuff as you're progressing. In fact, you can go to any level at any time once you start the game for the very first time. So if you want to go to the hardest level and complete that one first, you have the ability to do so. There's also nothing that you really get rewarded for getting a certain amount of gold medals outside of the game's small trophy list. The game uses colors well, though I do wish there was a bit more variety. I like the whole space, futuristic kind of feel of everything. It's kind of plain, but it works for what it's trying to do. The only issue is I wish maybe there was some different color schemes you could unlock, or some different looks, or just something to change up the overall appearance of things. Besides getting used to growing and shrinking the sphere in order to gain that momentum and be able to get into certain areas or make giant jumps, you also have a few other types of things to worry about, such as red platforms, which are instant death if you run into them, yellow ones, which you can move about by running into them, and you can use these to build staircases or build bridges. You also have elevator-like platforms that will move across areas, and you can ride them in order to kind of get around mazes or be able to, of course, get over larger gaps as well. While the game provides a lot of levels and a good amount of challenge, especially the later levels, I still never felt truly confident. It became more frustrating than actually fun to figure out how to get through that next level. I found myself skipping levels as I would get farther into the game, since there's no penalty for doing so and no real reason to complete every single level unless you just want that 100% completion. So if I got stuck on a level for a little bit, I just moved on to the next one. One thing that really bugged me that added unnecessary difficulty was there was no way to seemingly zoom out, at least nothing that I could figure out how to do so. You do zoom in and zoom out a little bit while growing and shrinking the sphere, but the level starts off by showing you the entire stage and then zooms into wherever your sphere is located. I just wish you could look at the entire stage at all times, so I didn't have to kind of like memorize the level to know what was coming next, instead of just being able to easily see what was going on and be able to do what I was trying to do. From the technical side of things, the game ran smoothly. I didn't run into any slowdown, crashing, or major glitching of any sort, and I love that there's pretty much no load time in the game whatsoever. You pick a level and you're right there into the stage, and you can go right back to the main menu easily and go right into the next level, whatever it is that you want to challenge, without really having any kind of interference in between. You can also reset the stage at any point by pressing triangle, so you can instantly get back to the beginning if you know whatever you were doing has caused a problem in the level and you're unable to complete it at that point. I.O. is available on the PlayStation 4 for $9.99. It does not feature a full trophy list or a platinum. It will require you completing every one of the levels and getting all the gold medals if you're going to want 100% things. I.O. is the kind of game I'm sure people will really end up enjoying and potentially get addicted to if they end up giving it a try. I didn't really find it overall that enjoyable and wish there was just a bit more as far as like bringing everything together. It just felt like a compilation of levels with an idea instead of a full-blown game. Even if it was just a bare-bones story or unlockables or something to add to the overall feeling of what was there. With everything said, I'm going to be giving the game a 6 out of 10. But anyway guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.